Good evening, guys. We are gathered here for the environmental innovation quiz. We all know that innovation is a part of our everyday life. New every day, new ideas are coming, new inventions are being made, and certainly different innovations are done in the environment. Environmental related innovations are also happening daily. Since we all know that conserving environment is utmost priority at the moment, and many different companies are working towards preserving the environment. So we would be looking at we would be hoping that you would learn something from the quiz, some new things from the quiz. So let's begin. So the first question of our quiz is a combination of two words. This word was first used in late 19th century to describe the environmental condition in London at the time. Which word are we talking about? So we are repeating the first question. A combination of two words. This word was first used in the late 19th century to describe the environmental condition in London at the time. Which word? So we have shared the form in the chat. You can access the form from there and type in your answers there. Okay, so moving on to the next question. In the early 2010s, engineers in Gujarat found a unique way to install solar panels over X. This led to higher efficiency due to cooling effect. An additional advantage was that X under the panel had lower dash 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 loss. Where were these panels installed? That is X. What are X? You have to type in X. Moving on to the next question. Indore is famous for being the cleanest city in India for the past consecutive years, but now it has added one more feather in its cap. PM Modi has inaugurated Asia's biggest bio-CNG plant X. This plant is based on the concept of waste to wealth innovation. X borrows its name from two different schemes of central government and Chhattisgarh government. What is X? Moving on to the next question. Union Minister of Road Transport and Highways Nitin Gadkari has been a vocal supporter of greener alternatives to petroleum cars. Recently, he has received a car from Toyota in a bid to promote the feasibility of eco-friendly vehicles other than electric ones. What energy technology does he want to promote? Moving on to the next question. X, based on a common household product, was developed in order to solve the crisis of air pollution. Said to remove about 30,000 meter cube of pollutants every hour, X is surely a step towards a cleaner and greener environment. Why the mission under which X was launched is also credited with several other innovative inventions, including smog-eating billboards, IDX, and the device it is based on.
So, guys, moving on to the next question. So, X is a vital part of our ecosystems. Helps it helps in our helps us in various ways, from digesting minerals out of rock formations to consuming fossil fuel spills and even re-radiating the environment. X is also said to cure as well as cause several diseases. So some eggs are consumable while others are harmful for the body. So you have to identify eggs. 5 seconds more. Okay. So the next question, guys. So cryptocurrencies are a hot topic nowadays, and they are getting special attention in the union budget as well. But unlike many other crypto players in the market, X is somewhat different. X has made an enormous difference by being one of the most trusted and sustainable cryptocurrency. X aims to create 1 unit of itself for every megawatt hour generated from a certain technology. Tell me the name of this sustainable cryptocurrency X. Okay, so moving on to the next question. So, hexavalent chromium is a now well known carcinogen, and it had its moment in the spotlight when Dash, a former beauty pageant winner, discovered that a company was leaking the chemical into the groundwater of Hinckley, California. So, this event led to one of the largest settlements ever paid in a direct action lawsuit and a career for Dash in other anti-pollution lawsuits. So you have to tell me what's in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Okay, guys. Next question. So in his 1997 book, The Art of the Comeback, X warned America not to buy the crusade against the greatest fireproofing material ever used. He claimed that the movement to remove Y, a known carcinogen, was actually the handiwork of the mafia, a Russian mining company still actively mining Y, and it's using X face on their branding. So, what is X and Y? Now, guys, time for the next question. So, X was a Mongol leader as well as an invader who is well known for his mercenary personality. X established a large. What happened? Wait a second. Okay, so X established a large empire between 13th and 14th century. X not only has his place in the list of the greatest invaders, but also is known as the greenest invader in the history. So he killed approximately 40 million people in his murderous conquests, which led to a certain benefit to the nature in some form. Although his methods were immoral and unethical, ecologists believe that it may be the first ever case of successful man-made global cooling. So, what was the benefit to the nature which is being talked about here? Now, the next question. So, X is the president of a very famous international organization. X released her will where she said one of her eyes is to be sent to US Environment Protection Agency, her ears to be sent to the Canadian Parliament, her mask to be served at a human barbecue, her foot taken out and an umbrella made out of that, her skin to be used to make leather, and so on. Everything had a unique significance. So identify this organization. Now, the last question. So, this particular show's central theme is how one can relate to nature. To depict this particular theme, one of the most prominent set of persons in this show are named after trees. The main reason is the central theme as well as the fact that trees in various cultures are symbols of wisdom and continuity. So, identify this show.
Okay, guys, so we would be showing you the questions once more from the starting. You can have a look at that and then answer answer, fill in the forms. Then we will be closing the form in about 5 seconds after showing all the questions. So the first question, a combination of two words. This word was first used in the late 19th century to describe the environmental conditions in London at that time. What is the word we are talking about? Next question. In the early 2010s, the engineers in Gujarat found a unique way to install solar panels over axis. This led to higher efficiency due to cooling effect. An additional advantage was that axis under the panel had lower dash 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 loss wherever these panel installed, or identify X. So in this question, you have to name the scheme, the plant which the government PMOD has inaugurated. Uh, it is a combination of two schemes, so you can identify it from there. Great. So this was the last question of our quiz. We would be waiting for you to turn in your forms after 5 to 10. Uh, After 2 to 3 minutes, we will be closing the form. So turn in the forms as fast as you can.
As we are revealing the answers, I would request all the participants to please fill in the feedback form that I've sent in the chat. It would greatly help us in improving our future quizzes as well as understanding the sentiment for this one.
So, guys, moving on to the answers. Just check your answers. You have filled in the Google form. Now, let's go.
So for the first question, the answer was smog, which was a combination of fog plus smoke. Smog. The next question, in which you have to identify where the panels were installed. So the panels were installed on top of the canal, so moving water kept that kept the solar panel cool. The next question, you had to identify the plant which PM Modi inaugurated. So the plant was Govardhan plant. For the next question, you have to identify the energy technology which Nitin Gadkari was promoting. Uh, so he was promoting the hydrogen cell energy. For the next question, the device and on which it was based was the smoke-free tower, which was based on vacuum cleaners used in homes. For the next question, it was to identify X, which had various properties and helped us in various ways. So the answer was fungi. For the next question, you had to identify the cryptocurrency, uh, which was promoted. So the cryptocurrency was solar coins. In the next question, you had to tell about the person uh, who did who you had to fill in the blank about the person who uh, put put a claim against the company using hexavalent chromium. So the person was Erin Brockovich. In the next question, you had to identify X and Y uh, with the help of hints. So X was a person and Y was the thing which is a carcinogenic. So the answer was Trump and asbestos. The next, you had to identify what the Mongolian leader was doing in order for it to be mentioned as the first ever successful man-made global cooling. So, what was the benefit of what he did? So, his killing removed nearly 700 million tons of carbon from the atmosphere. Hence, it was named as the first ever successful case of man-made global cooling. In the next question, you had to identify the organization with whose president made several decisions in her will. So the answer was PETA. The next and final question, you had to identify the show which had its central theme on nature and many persons based on the names of trees. So the show was Pokemon. With this, we come to an end for today's session. Thank you guys for joining us. We hope you learned a lot from the quiz. Uh, And I would once again request you to fill out the feedback forms if you have not done so. Thank you.